All right, I'd like to call the City Council meeting of April 17th, 2025 to order. Roll call.
Alderwoman Ames. Here. Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Curielli.
Here.
Alderman Messina. Alderman Sismarski. Alderman Artwoods.
Here.
Alderman Hardy-Woods.
Here.
Mayor, please.
Here, I declare a quorum. Please stand, join Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First off, we need a motion to approve the minutes of April 3rd, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Comments, questions, or corrections? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Do any citizens wish to be heard on matters not listed on the agenda?
Not listed or listed?
Not listed. Yeah, I figured when we get to the subject.
Thank you.
I have no written communications this evening. Under Mayor's report, I just want to thank all the volunteers last week for the creek cleanup. We had about 15 volunteers. We had a truckload of garbage we picked up along the creek at 4 different areas. It was a job well done. Thank you to them. Next, city manager report. Oh, wait, sorry. I got to do the proclamation. Go to it. Where is it? You got it in here? Okay. All right, Arbor Day proclamation. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting, heating, and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. Whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Annunziato Police, Mayor of Wooddale, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Wooddale, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support our efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Thank you. Next, city manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one item, but I will defer to Chief Zito on this item.
Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you. DuPage County now accepts emergency text to 911 from individuals who need immediate assistance but can't talk to a dispatcher. Anyone whose cell phones use Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, or Dish Wireless can text their exact location and nature of their emergency to 911. A dispatcher will then respond. It is still preferred that citizens call 911 if possible, as it is faster and more reliable. Using text to 911 in an emergency might be helpful for individuals needing emergency assistance who are deaf, hard of hearing, have a speech disability, or are suffering a medical emergency that has rendered them unable to speak. It can also be used in situations where it is not safe to place a voice call to 911. If citizens can make a voice call to 911 and it is safe to do so, that is the preferred method of reaching a dispatcher. Voice calls are the fastest, most efficient way to reach emergency help. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Next, consent agenda. Item A, approval of executive session minutes from February 6, 2025. Do I motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Okay. Roll call.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, if no objections, we have 4 items under item B. Do we have any objections? Then I'll need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, we need a motion to approve the items on the agenda. Item number 1, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Clark Environmental Mosquito Management Incorporated for the 2025-2027 Environmental Mosquito Management and Spongy Moth Control Program in an amount not to exceed $70,072. Item number 2, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Performance Pipelining Incorporated for the fiscal year 2026 sewer rehabilitation program, an amount not to exceed $325,000. Item number 3, a resolution approving a professional services agreement between the City of Wooddale and RJN Group for fiscal year 2026 engineering services, an amount not to exceed $254,000. Item number 4, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Sewer Tech LLC for the fiscal year 2026 sewer cleaning and televising program in an amount not to exceed $200,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And let the minute taker note that Alderman Sismarski is here. Okay, roll call.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, committee chairman reports. Planning and zoning, Alderman Catalano.
I have 2, Mayor. First one is a resolution approving the plat of easement and vacation of utility easements for property known as Bryn Mawr Phase 3, generally located west of Route 83, Bussey Road, between Foster Avenue and Washington Street, Wooddale, Illinois. That is my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions on this one? Roll call.
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes.
And second is to reaffirm the ordinance approving a special use for major utilities and public service facilities and zoning variations for the new water tower at 310 East Irving Park Road. That is my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I know we have somebody who would like to speak. Mr. Townsend. Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You rely on professional staff and consultants for information and advice, which you did in this case. And it's especially important because it is a major project and it's pending that will affect the entire city, of course. But I also ask you to consider the following comments from a resident who has spoken with many other residents in the area. My first point is about construction time risk. Public Works Director and engineers on April 10th at the committee meeting that Chairman Alderman Catalano just referenced, said that 4 locations were studied: the current site, southwest side, a site next to City Hall, and the planned site. And they described all kinds of potential construction difficulties, extra costs, and months of downtime with building next to the old tower by the water treatment plant. They also described the potential for unstable subsoil. But I was astounded by how they went overboard to describe potential water service interruptions, water main breaks from pump surges, loss of water, and extraordinary expense to ensure that the tower does not fall down. Anything is possible, of course, but all of that is not likely. So I just ask that you please do not buy into that rhetoric of fear. Professionals should not be so biased in advising elected officials. Remember, there will never be a lack of water due to the emergency interconnect valves with the villages adjacent to Wooddale. My second point about the tower location. The Public Works Director also showed photos of water towers in residential neighborhoods. He said this is a common situation. And the city planner's report also said that there were no adverse impacts on the surrounding area. Both statements are partially true and false, with a big omission. While it is true you will see towers in neighborhoods, most were there before the homes were constructed and people moved into them. Infrastructure is typically installed while creating a subdivision so the buildings can be served. The site on Irving Park Road in Central is 180 degrees the opposite of that. Everyone is already around there. And in walking the neighborhoods, just the immediate area, it's over 200 households. This is an adverse impact. And while I'm talking about the people in that area, I would like to give to the city clerk, I think I gave this to the committee last week, but I want to give it to the full city council, the petitions that were signed objecting to the site being planned for this water tower. Okay, my third point, and I'll get through these as quickly as I can because I know you have other things to do, but costs. The engineers could not answer questions about the respective costs of the 3 or 4 alternative sites. Alderman Art Woods raised a lot of excellent questions in that regard, and on many occasions they could only guess or defer. Further, they could not explain why at least 2 other sites were not considered near the water park and by Route 83. Those weren't even talked about. And if there are extra costs to build at the current site, it will be worth given the factors of security, service, and community impact. The total 310 East Irving Park is obviously set in their mind, the location, I should say, is obviously set in their mind as the only way to go. That alone justifies pausing this project to study other options more carefully. And resources, my fourth point. And by the way, I probably didn't mention who I was. I'm Brad Townsend at 196 North Central. Sorry I didn't identify myself. A longtime resident. Fourth, resources. The vacant site already generates $9,000 per year in property taxes with the current town center business district zoning. Commercial redevelopment would produce more property taxes plus the possibility of sales tax income. A rezoning of the site to public use will stop any kind of tax revenues forever. The potential for taxes raised on the Central and Irving Park site with business zoning should not be casually dismissed. That income could, over time, offset the cost of a new water tower, at least be part of the sources, including any extra cost to stay at the current site next to the water treatment plant. I even offered to run financial analysis for you to prove that point. Fifth item, property values. Residents of the area immediately adjacent to the tower are expected to see a loss in home income due to the tower looming overhead. I have not done a scientific study of that, but that is what happens in other situations where something is built that is completely different and opposite of what's in the location of a neighborhood. That is not what a citizen-friendly city does for its residents. In fact, it is another adverse impact. Let's make sure that this doesn't happen with the water tower project, please. And finally, fairness, my sixth point. Residents of Ward 1 are not fully represented now due to a vacancy. I know that's going to be resolved when the next council is brought on board, but it's not right now. So I would ask you to consider delaying the final vote until both Ward 1 aldermen are members of the City Council. And I base this fairness statement on the principles of due process and equal protection per the 5th and 14th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution. So what I would ask in that case would be to either vote down this site tonight or table it. So in summary, I just say, please review the water tower siting and zoning situation, reverse your committee of the whole vote on April 10th, and reject this location. Spend some time and money on a site that lacks the negative impact posed by the one at 310 East Irving Park Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions? Alderman Messina?
Yeah, I want to make a motion to table this.
Second.
Okay, let's roll call on that, to table.
Is there an opportunity for questions before we do roll call or comment?
There's no debate on the motion.
Go.
Right.
Okay, Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
No.
Alderman Sismarski,
No.
Alderman Currielli,
No.
Alderman Catalano,
No.
Alderwoman Ames. No.
Okay? That fails. Now we need a motion. Oh, we have one already, yes. Okay, we need a roll call on that. We have a motion to approve. Alderman Artwood, do you have a question?
Yeah, does Mr. Lang have some graphics that he wanted to show? I noticed you have a,
Mr. Lane, did you have something else?
I know we asked a bunch of questions. I thought we were going to come back with a little information, but
Yeah, I was under the impression that you were all very sick of hearing me talk about
I
water
love
towers.
it.
Go ahead,
but,
Mr. Lane.
We did provide a revised packet this week that had some more information, a little bit of cost analysis, kind of a reiteration of the challenges of building at this site. And just to kind of recertify that the cost analysis was at the end of that memo because it's kind of the least influential on our decision making. Everything that came before it about not wanting to build in a floodplain, not wanting to drive piles around our existing infrastructure, not wanting to take the tower down and operate our system for an extended period of time, not knowing how our system is going to respond to that, and kind of the what that could cause in terms of water main breaks and things of that nature. Those were the reasons that we started looking for an alternate site in the first place. And if those weren't considerations, we'd be building at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant, no question. But they are. So we have a perfectly good site that we've identified that's been vetted multiple times through multiple committees and approved at committees and the council themselves. The design's done. It's ready to be built upon. It doesn't have a single one of those drawbacks that were mentioned in the memo or were talked about at length at various meetings. So, and by the way, it's significantly cheaper, so that's a happy bonus there. So, from staff's perspective, it would be unwise to switch directions at this course.
Follow up, go ahead.
how did we determine it significantly cheaper? I'm assuming we got to loop water to the new water tower. The old water tower location already has that there, so
Mr. Lane.
So if
there's
we,
some savings. And a couple of statements you made were we didn't want to do pylons in that area. We didn't want to work in a certain area, which I get. If there's, an abundance of sites to build it without any opposition. So if maybe you could just address the.
sure, so in terms of cost, they did an initial conceptual level cost analysis when we did the phase 1 study identifying the 4 sites. And because that location can have a shorter tower because of the higher elevation of the site, and because it can utilize spread footings as opposed to pile-driven footings like would be needed near the creek, it was significantly cheaper. I'm forgetting your second part of your question now.
Go ahead, Mr. Woods, Alderman Woods.
I forget, so the.
Oh, the tap for the water main. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
the 310 East Irving has the 12-inch main that runs directly alongside of it. It's actually adjacent to the DuPage Water Commission 16-inch main that feeds the northern half of our system, which is why there's the easement already there. And it was actually formerly Central Avenue right-of-way. So it has actually the shortest distance to connect to a new main. If you were to rebuild the tower slightly northeast of where the existing tower is, you would have to either extend that main or make a new tap off of Irving Park Road.
Follow up?
Yeah, so I'm assuming based on the votes, it's not rocket science, this will more than likely pass. Is there anything we can do to minimize the impact, visual impact, right? Some people want to highlight, case in point, Rosemont with the rose, right? They want to highlight the fact that it is there. Do we know what we're going to do graphically or paint-wise? And is there anything that we could do to then minimize that?
Mr. Lang.
Sure, so right now with the base bid, we just have the city's standard logo and the leaf logo, our current branding. We can get alternate bids for other ideas if the council has them, or if we want to vet that through another committee. We can certainly discuss getting proposals for other designs as well. Other concerns that were raised at the CDC meeting, about screening at the base. We've agreed to install some screening as best we can on the south side where the residential properties are at. And, light pollution, there's only the beacon that's required at the top, which is required by the FAA. There's no other lighting on the site that would impact the residences. And yeah, anything else we can do to help mitigate any impacts on residents, we're more than willing to try.
And just
Go ahead, follow up.
if we could, driving around, obviously, I now only notice every water tower around, Schaumburg, there it is, driving down Gulf Road, and different locations. But what I've noticed, even going down Irving into Roselle and stuff, when you see them, obviously, the height that you're viewing from versus the height of that and obstructions in your way. So can we get some mature trees planted in different locations that would be sightline?
Yeah,
Mr. Lang.
Just, obviously, we'd probably have to look into that kind of development.
Yeah.
Maybe that falls under your discussion with streetscape.
Yeah, we had proposed, I think, 5 trees on the northern portion of the site, which is where that green space area is. There's not enough room on the south side of the site, I don't think, to plant any mature trees. But I had offered the residents that if, in the basin, which is south of the train tracks there, if we wanted to plant some more deciduous trees to help screen the view of the tower from their properties, we'd definitely be willing to do that as well.
That's what I was talking about, if we could back up, because
Yeah.
we need to be somewhere in between them and the tower to eliminate that sightline. Thank you.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Just to clarify too, so from the staff memo, before we vote, building it on, next to the existing one on the existing site would be a minimum of 1.75 million more than the current site,
Correct, that's the engineer's estimates.
a minimum of that, plus we would lose the 140,000 in design cost.
Correct,
Okay, so $2 million roughly.
roughly.
That's it, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods.
No.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
No.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano. Alderwoman Ames. I'm sorry.
All right, that passes.
Here, can I, quick question? Comment? Can we actually, at the end of when this is all built, because I really, will we be able to audit, no offense, HR Green, but I am dying to see how this is going to be as cheap as they say, because I just find that the fact that in the memo it says $1.7 million more to build, I really hope you're right, because I'm going to remember that number, and every time you come up here for another project, I'm going to hold that. So I really hope in the last 5 days, you magically were able to pull these numbers using some actual real data that you can validate. And
Okay,
The only
All right.
job you've ever validated?
okay, that's enough.
And that's the end of my report, Mayor.
Hold on, thank you. Public Health and Safety, Alderman Currielli.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Alderman Artie Woods.
2 reports, Mayor. First, approval of pay request number 5, final to Performance Pipelining Incorporated for the fiscal year 2025 sewer rehabilitation project in the amount of $122,795.70. That is my motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? Roll call.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes.
Lastly, a resolution approving an agreement for funding of Brookwood on the Greens Homeowners Association sign relocation and related landscaping improvements, subject to attorney review. That is my motion.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Alderman Currielli, you had a comment?
I recuse myself.
Okay. Alderman Currielli recuses himself. Any questions on this one? Roll call.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
You called him already.
I'm sorry.
You can give,
Alderman Art Woods.
we came from, give him my vote. Good. Yes.
Okay. Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli recused himself.
Right,
Okay.
we're good.
You got me?
Alderman
Wait,
Catalano.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's all right.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
I was just in the role of you initiating the motion.
All right. Finance and Administration, Alderwoman Ames.
No report, Mayor.
Okay. Nothing under other business this evening. Under approval list of bills, Alderwoman Ames.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the list of bills for April 17th, 2025 for $1,988,839.06. That is my motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Okay. And that passes. Next, we do need executive session for review of the minutes and land disposition. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.